welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Malin, and last week I took a little break, but this week I'm back with a really yummy recipe for some tacos. And these tacos are full of yummy stuff, so they're great for when you want a little bit of a treat of a meal, or if you want to treat your friends or family to something a little bit special. Because in the tacos I'm going to be putting some refried beans that we're going to make from scratch. I'm going to make a fruity salsa. I'm also going to add some cabbage in there for some crunch, and we're going to make some spicy pulled jackfruit. So there's lots going on, but of course you could also make each component separately and use them in simpler weeknight dinners as well. But before we get started, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes on various creative topics like photography, design, illustration, drawing. They also cover topics like self and business development for freelancers. I love that the video classes on Skillshare are pretty concise. They're 60 to 90 minutes roughly, and then split into shorter segments. And this means I can fit in my learning into any day really, and having some time between the shorter segments give me time to integrate the knowledge as well. This week I wanted to take a more light-hearted class, and I've been noticing that my houseplants need some love. So I took Christopher Griffin's class, Plants at Home, Uplift Your Spirit and Your Space. Christopher really gave me all the knowledge I needed to confidently repot and propagate my plants and move them around into the right spot for them so that they can thrive. I also really enjoyed this class because Christopher has such a bright and sparkling personality that just rubs off on you. I stopped watching it and I felt really uplifted and motivated, and yeah, it was the perfect combination of learning and enjoyment. If you would like to try Christopher's class or any other class on Skillshare, the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the description box will receive a free trial for Skillshare Premium membership. But for now, let's get to cooking. To start off, we're going to prepare the jackfruit, and I'm using young green jackfruit in a can here that comes in brine. Just make sure you don't get the one that comes in syrup, as that will be sweet and we need a neutral version for this recipe. As always, you can find the full measurements linked in the description box. But once we've opened the can of jackfruit, I like to drain and rinse it well so that you get rid of that briny taste. This is what the young green jackfruit looks like. It's just a fibrous fruit, and I like to use my hands to break it apart into these pulled pieces, and it lends itself really well to this and gives that meaty texture. I set the jackfruit aside and prepare some onion and garlic that will both serve as a flavor base for the jackfruit as well as for the refried beans. So I just chop up the onions and the garlic finely. Once this is all prepped, we're ready to start cooking with some heat. So I heat up some oil in a frying pan over medium heat, and I saute the onion until it's starting to brown for a few minutes, and then I add in the garlic and saute for another minute until fragrant. To start building more flavor, I'm adding in some tomato paste as well as some spicy hot sauce. I like this Valentina hot sauce, but you could use any one that you like, that you have on hand. And I'm also adding in some soy sauce, which will add that sort of round umami savory flavor, as well as some maple syrup to sweeten. Then for spices, I'm using cumin, coriander, smoked paprika, and oregano. I'm also adding in some chili flakes for extra heat, but you could leave this out if you prefer. Then I mix it all up for just a minute in the pan and then add the jackfruit. I like to stir in the jackfruit with the spices first, and then I add in some water, and if you have vegetable stock on hand you could pour that in. I'm just going to add a little bit of stock cube instead to give it more depth of flavor. give it all a good mix, and then I season with salt and black pepper, and then I just let this simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes for all the flavors to marry together and for the liquid to cook away, which leaves us with a really flavorful and spicy vegan taco meat. Making the refried beans is super simple. We just heat a little bit of oil in a saucepan, and then when the oil is hot we add in the onions so that they brown and caramelize a little bit. This will give the refried beans a lot of flavor. As you see, they've browned here, so I'm adding in the garlic and sauteing for another minute. For spices, I'm going in with some cumin and some smoked paprika. I stir the spices through the onion and garlic, and then I'm adding in the beans. I'm using black beans, but traditionally you would probably use pinto beans for this, but we don't get a hold of that in Sweden, so black beans will do. And then I'm adding in some vegetable stock as well. I season with some salt and black pepper, and then I let this cook for a few minutes for the flavors to come together. I take the beans off the heat, and I'm going to add in some lime juice to add some tang and really lift the flavors that are already in there. I use a stick blender to blend the beans into a paste, and you can see my preferred texture here, but you can blend as much as you like, and you could also use a food processor or a blender to do this. Just use what you have on hand. To make the salsa, I'm chopping up a few vegetables, and I'm starting off with tomato, and I like to just chop up everything pretty small. Next up is some fresh cucumber, and I'm also going to chop up some red onion, but you could really use any type of onion here. Spring onion or brown onion work just as well. I'm also going to add in some fresh coriander, but if it's something you don't like, you can always leave it out. Veggies into a mixing bowl, and to this I'm going to add some lime zest and lime juice. I really like lime zest, so I go ahead and I zest the whole lime, but if you don't like that flavor, you could always omit this. Just make sure you squeeze a lot of lime juice into there to give it a nice tang and brighten up all the flavors. At this point you might be wondering, well, where's the fruit, Malin? And here it comes. I'm using an apple because it's what's in season here in Sweden right now, but you can use any fruit really because it tastes really great in the salsa. Of course, tropical fruits like pineapple and mango are really great in there. In the summer it's really great with fresh strawberries, but really anything goes, and I'm pretty sure you can't go wrong. I love how all the colors and flavors come together in the salsa, and I like to season it with a little bit of salt, give it a good mix, and then it's ready to serve. The last component for my tacos is some sliced up red cabbage, but of course you could use white as well. I like to just slice it up really fine. I place my cabbage in a bowl and I break it apart so that you get fine strands of it. Then I squeeze in some lime juice to again brighten it up and bring some of that juiciness out. I'm also adding in a little bit of salt, and then just give it a mix and let it sit for a couple of minutes to bring out this beautiful color. Corn tortillas for my tacos, but of course you can use whatever tortilla you like. I buy mine in the store. Of course you can make yours too if you like. Then I add some of that refried beans on the bottom. I top it with some of the red cabbage, and then I place the cooked jackfruit on top. top it all off with the really fragrant and flavorful salsa. If you like, you can always drizzle on some more hot sauce, or you could add some vegan sour cream to take down the heat of the jackfruit. It really is up to you. My final touch is adding some lime wedges to squeeze on just before you eat, but if you feel like I've used quite enough lime in this recipe, I feel you, and this is totally optional. So I think I've just made 3 tacos for Rob by putting that extra hot sauce on because it's pretty hot. And if it looks like my eyes are watering, it's because I also poked myself in the eye with some hot sauce on my finger. So that's a little disclaimer, don't put your finger in your eye when you have hot sauce on it. Anyways, these tacos are really delicious. I really like the combination of that creamy, really flavorsome refried beans with the spicy jackfruit on top. And you might wonder about jackfruit if you've never had it before. It's not sweet at all, really. And with all the spices and flavorings that we add to it, it's really savory and just nice and chewy. And then of course the freshness of the salsa. And yeah, to me this is a really good taco. I hope you will try it and enjoy it. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.